There's a lot of talk about police reform right now, but some police chiefs here in New Mexico say the system set up to hold bad cops accountable in our state is not working.
Our 4 Investigates team has learned the state agency handling all of those police misconduct investigations is backlogged with more than 100 cases.
Tonight, 4 investigator Nathan O'Neill is asking why.
Okay, I've had enough of this. Take your bag off. Take your bag off. You're done.
It's a gut-wrenching case of policing at a middle school after a uniformed police officer roughed up an 11-year-old girl with special needs. Our 4 Investigates team first told you about now former Farmington police officer Zachary Christensen. He resigned last year after an internal investigation by his own police department found multiple violations, including violating use of force policy and unsatisfactory performance.
I want to go here, I'll get that option!
In November of last year, the department submitted this LEA 90 form, which is used to report police misconduct to the state's Law Enforcement Academy Board. In some cases, it can be the first step to revoking a problem officer's certification.
No action's been taken on the case. It's 9 months and counting.
Farmington Police Chief Steve Hebby is the president of the New Mexico Police Chiefs Association.
There is a problem, no doubt about it.
Our 4 Investigates team has learned that the state board that has the power to revoke a police officer certification is facing a substantial backlog. We've confirmed at least 130 active cases statewide, all of them police officers facing allegations of serious misconduct.
What we're seeing is you still have officers that their departments don't believe should be police officers in New Mexico anymore, and they still are. So that's at its most sinister. Is I think that if you've got a backlog of 2 to 3 years, which is what I'm hearing rumors of, that you've got officers working in the state of New Mexico who should not be police officers anymore. But we don't have the process down, and we're not taking action fast enough.
In Roswell, Police Chief Philip Smith has seen problems with the backlog too, after investigations into the misconduct of some of his own officers.
4 of those have been dishonesty. 2 are drug use, and 1 was a DWI arrest, and the other one's excessive force. But the last 3, the DWI, the excessive force, and the admitting drug use, hasn't gone before the board yet. And because the state isn't tracking this, they're getting hired elsewhere.
The Law Enforcement Academy Board is made up of 9 part-time members, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic, has only met 3 times this year, when normally it's 4. Our 4 Investigates team contacted the director of the LEA board, Kelly Alzaharna, but she refused to participate in a recorded interview. Still, she did tell us there are a few reasons for the current caseload. According to Alzaharna, when Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham took office last year, it took 9 months for a new board director to be appointed, so the cases piled up. Attorney General Hector Balderas currently chairs the board.
The way things are handled, do you think they're effective enough right now?
No, I think some of the situations that the Law Enforcement Academy is faced with is unacceptable. And ultimately, the way the legislature has structured this is I don't run the academy, we just have policy oversight, and I would rather that the legislature put a team independently accountable to the citizens and really elevate this to a cabinet level type division so that there's real accountability.
The Law Enforcement Academy is also chronically understaffed, with staffing levels at 35% and only 1 staff member responsible for helping push the caseloads along.
Do you think that is enough to handle this type of caseload?
Absolutely not. I mean, this has been a train wreck through 2 to 3 decades.
As police reform protests flare up in New Mexico and across the country, these 2 police chiefs agree. Streamlining the process for holding officers accountable is key to maintaining public trust.
We talk about weeding out the bad apples or the bad cops. I don't think we're doing a good enough job of it, and so I absolutely have that as a fear that you've got cops right now that are working, representing us, representing the uniform and the badge to communities, and they shouldn't be in the business anymore. And we knew it, and we submitted the paperwork down, and the process is now, the bureaucracy is preventing us from getting the solution we should have.
Attorney General Hector Balderas had a lot to say on this issue too, including why lawmakers should consider revamping the state agency that deals with police misconduct.
Instead, they hide this little division in the Department of Public Safety, which I think also presents an inherent conflict. It's time that New Mexico modernize their training and their discipline oversight function over nearly 5,000 law enforcement officers.
Now, it's worth noting right now, the state does not keep a running list of officers who have had their certifications revoked. They also don't have a list of pending cases. Still, the board director tells me it is going to take some time to get through the current caseload, but it's unclear how long that will take. I'm Nathan O'Neill, 4 Investigates.